Hi, Wikili and Sarah. Thanks so much for participating in this conversation already.
So today's episode is around the question, is Afrikaans a white language? Personally, I grew up speaking English, although my grandparents are Afrikaans, because during the struggle, they didn't necessarily want to carry the language over to their children. And I learned Afrikaans at Stellenbosch University, which is a bit strange.
My Afrikaans sucks. I was completely raised as English, so a lot of the discussion in this is very new to me. And we hope it's informative. Let's talk.
Wil jy ek moet vloek?
No, definitely not. Ek is trots Afrikaans.
Het maak my baie kwaad as mense dink Afrikaans is 'n wit taal. Afrikaans is jou taal, kleerling.
I think that how the language came to be, and one of the reasons why Afrikaans is also called kitchen Dutch, is because it was spoken and developed in the kitchen by the slaves.
And then perfected academically by the Koopman later on. And I think from what I can read, is the groot trek when they left the Cape and they went up into the middle. They took the language with them and claimed it as their own.
There are more non-white Afrikaans speakers in this country than white Afrikaans speakers in this country. So that ought to tell you something.
I think that Afrikaans got appropriated by white people who, in an attempt to make themselves natives of South Africa.
The fact that it's become that certain people have laid claim to Afrikaans is also problematic. That just shows, it's one example of how our history has been misinterpreted.
And to tell people who've been speaking Afrikaans their whole lives and have lived and live and breathe in Afrikaans that, by speaking that you're speaking the colonial language or you're partaking in an oppressor's tongue. Like, to tell people that is also denying how they've found a sense of ownership, or how we as a community have found a sense of ownership.
People tried in the old system to estrange me from my own language. No, you can't say Afrikaans is not my language. It's very much my language. That's a language I grew up and that's all I know.
Maar sodra jy so praat en dan sê jy is 'n mooi Afrikaans. Maar is net 'n different version van dit, maar ons is geforce om so te praat. In skole, the formal way.
There are certain Afrikaans words made up by brown bodies that only we use,
And there's even some San words in Afrikaans like gogga and things like that. Bugu is also a San word. So it's not a white language per se. It was just adopted by those people at the time.
That's why I'm proud that the Afrikaans movement is happening, because it is making it the language that people speak on the street. It's recognizable, it's tangible, it's a mixture of, and it's alive and well.
Yeah, so feel free to use the page in Afrikaans even though we're English.
Also, we'd like to invite you to a fundraiser for the Liberation Walk happening at Unknown Union on the 4th of February. We're trying to raise funds for a support vehicle to help all the walkers along the road. So pull through.
See you there.